Spidey, K1 Green Mountain Maniac here. Figured I'd start doing some videos on some of the toys I have. This is a 2010 CanAm Spyder RS. It has a 998, roughly 1000 cc Rotax motor in it. Love my Spyder. If you've ever ridden a snowmobile, you'll feel right at home on one of these. Show you a few of the things I've done. This is for all you Spyder lovers out there. I am running a Two Brothers dual cans, dual exhaust on it. It does have the silencers in it, which I don't know if you can see them right here. Without those in there, it is very, very loud, scary loud, deafening roar. Sounds great, but yeah. What else did I do here? I have a Two Brothers Juice Box Pro installed, which tunes. You can tune the machine, basically remap the fuel in the air using throttle position, and with a laptop computer with their tuning software. So I use that to tune it. I installed a Innovate Motorsports AFR gauge, which is right here, and that's probably the best thing you can do as far as tuning these machines. They come through very lean from the factory. The AFR reading is roughly about a 14 or more to 1 air to fuel ratio. The machine does not like that, but they do it to meet emission standards. So what I do is I use this AFR gauge along with the Juice Box Pro, and I can tune the fuel mixture. You don't want it too rich, and you definitely don't want it too lean. There's a happy medium. I found anywhere from a 13, right around a 13 to 1 AFR is, the machine runs cooler, and it produces gobs of power, anywhere from 13 to 13.6, 13.4 to 1. I've run it as low as 12 to 1, and all it does is it gobs fuel. So that's what I found with that. Kiriakin grips, beautiful addition. I do run risers. These, I believe, are 4.5 inch risers for the grips. This is I can't remember what this is called, but this is nice for giving your throttle hand a little bit of a rest. I added this. I have two windshields. This is the windshield that came on it, and it's the shorty, which I really love. I like this. But I added, this is Lexan. I made up a couple brackets, which with rubber on the inside of these, and they clamp down on the windshield, and it's kind of like a bug deflector. Helps with deflecting a little bit of the air, but when it's hot, you want the air on you. A lot of heat comes off these machines, so if it gets to be 90 plus degrees out, it's a little stifling with a tall windshield down there. Let's see. The rear tire. I just installed a new rear tire. I burned the previous tire off in 6,000 miles. Or not the previous tire, but the original tire, the factory tire. Horrible, horrible tire. Smoked it right off. And I haven't done a single hole shot, never done a hole shot with this machine. It's just cornering. This is a tire that I replaced. I replaced a Nitto that was on here before, and that got me about 20,000 miles, which was pretty good. This tire is, I believe, a Kenda. It's a Kenda Exta AS something, but they're 225/50 15s, I believe. Don't know how this is going to hold up. Tire pressure, I'm running in this currently. I'm going to monitor it. It's set at 20 pounds per square inch. I'm not sure if that's going to be too much or too little. The problem with going to, this is basically a car tire, and the problem with these is that they're built to run at 36, 32 to 36 pounds with a lot of weight on them. And I haven't figured out if running low pressure, what you'll end up having is you'll have the center of the tire wear off quicker than the sides. And I haven't figured out if that's over pressure or under pressure. You got to remember, as the tire spins, the inertia on the tire and the centrifugal force is expanding the tire. I don't know if you've ever seen a drag car with the big slicks on the back. Well, when they do their burnout and they spin it up, the tire actually increases in size. It balloons, and that's what I'm kind of curious about, because I didn't run much pressure in the other one, and the center tread burned right off on it. So we'll see how this tire goes. Another comment about the AFR gauge. The AFR gauge, you will need to install a sensor. And let's see if I can get under here quickly and show you where the sensor is. Okay, that's the sensor right there. You will need to pull the pipes off and drill a hole through the pipe and install a sensor to feed that gauge. That's how the gauge works. It reads the exhaust AFR, the air to fuel ratio in the exhaust coming out. So, and you don't want to install that towards the bottom of the pipe. You don't want water condensation in the exhaust getting to that sensor. So anyways, I did build a set of foot pegs, because this riding position, I'm about 6 feet tall and it's fairly cramped the way they're set up. I built a set of foot pegs with flat, well, it's actually a channel, but it's not very big channel, and the glare is really bad. So here's a foot peg. It connects down under here. It's not very strong, you can't stand on it. I do have support rods that I welded, which go back to the motor mounts. So it's fairly sturdy. I really like those. One more thing I did, two things I did. This is a CanAm comfort seat. Massive improvement over the factory seat. Love the seat. It's phenomenal. Worth every penny. The only issue with this seat is if you ride it like I do, aggressively, and you ride it like a snowmobile, the original seat is humped in the middle, and it's much easier to shift your weight as if you were riding a sled for high-speed cornering. This seat, you'll notice, has like you sit in it instead of on it. So it's a little bit more uncomfortable to shift your weight off. That's in relation to aggressive riding, but otherwise, fantastic seat. Let's see. The rear box. I refused to spend $400 on a stupid bracket to mount a rear cargo carrier or something. This box was, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks. Got it off of Amazon, I think. Love this box. It's a TMS. Very inexpensive, and what I did was I removed this, and I went up to a steel supplier and I picked up a set of channel which slips down into the frame, which is under here. There's a frame which goes all the way down, and I slipped it in here, and there's holes already in it. I lined up the holes, drilled a couple holes in the channel, put a couple bolts through it, and I welded a post, round piece of tubing, a post on here onto that channel, and the BRP emblem sits right in this hole right here. So if you just gently take a flat knife or anything like that, a putty knife, and you pry that emblem off, you can take a hole saw and drill this out. And I put a tube, the tube comes straight up through here, welded on a piece of box steel, and I have my mounting plate for the box. And as you can see, it's very rigid. You can shake the machine back and forth with it. It's very solid. So that's how I did that. And the nice part about this is, if you ever want to take it off and set it back to factory, you just pull this off, drop your cover, of course, you pop this, you release the bolts, and the whole thing comes right out. Take the cover, slip the cover off of this, and drop the cover back on, snap it back in place, and take your emblem and stick it back down right over the hole. Nobody'd ever know it was there. So that's how I did that. So that's it. 2010 CanAm Spyder RS, crack-a-lack. I'm going to do a video ride here, probably up to Middletown Springs shortly. 7-3. Have a great day.